Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jo and you have found us in a series of videos all about a charity called Clothing Solutions. I introduced the series yesterday, and if you haven't watched that video, I'd recommend you start there because it kind of puts everything into context. But Clothing Solutions are a charity that I've been involved with for all of my life because my mum was and still is involved with them. I used to spend my school holidays there, so it's part of my sewing origin story. This video today is a little look and discussion of how they draft patterns, of cutting out fabric, and about making a new pattern every single time for each customer that comes along. So there's some interesting little nuggets in there, just generally about sewing and about fitting, and then also on another level there's interesting stuff in there about how they adapt things to customers. So if you're just looking for sewing content, I think there's interesting stuff, and if you're interested in the whole thing of what Clothing Solutions do and how they really change people's lives, then you will find something interesting in here for you as well. Just before we get into the video, I want to make a shout out again for my Just Giving page. So if you're inspired by this charity who do incredible work to change people's lives through the power of sewing, then you can go to my Just Giving page and we can donate to them either now or in the future. If you want to donate directly to the charity and avoid all those fees, I would strongly recommend that. There will be links down below as to how you can do that as well. Obviously, I get no benefit from that. It's just something that I'm very passionate about, and I hope that you are too.
This fabric is a brushed cotton twill. It's quite soft. There's no stretch, but it's soft because the customer who I'm making it for needs quite soft fabric. He has a sensitive part of his body, so all the seams have had to be kept really flat. And he's different one side to the other, so that's why there's so many pieces. So there's a left and a right of everything.
Right.
So it's he's having summer shorts, knee length, like a cargo style trousers. So it's got back yoke on them, all the details that you would put on cargo pants or jeans are on these trousers. So the fabric has a pile on it. So we've got to make sure that every single piece is going the same way. Plus it's a dark colour, it's navy, so if you turn them round it would shade. It would look different. So your pieces are on. We do have weights, and then we check the grain lines on each pieces to make sure that it is straight, so because we don't want it twisting.
No. These are your fancy weights as well, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. And then once I've done
that, I like those a lot. I've been very taken by those.
You can get them on eBay.
More plan? Yeah.
Probably get them on eBay actually.
And so what you do then is just weight them all down, your pieces down. So we've got right back, right front, left back, left front, and then we're on to our pockets. And the pockets are shaped big because it actually goes into the front, the fly front, so it secures the pockets and the fly front.
Right, yeah.
And this works better for him because if you can see the difference is that one side is quite a bit higher than the other side. So if you look at two fronts.
So that's a zoom out.
Right front.
That's the front,
Left front. And if you look at the side seams,
the
difference
very different, aren't they?
Yeah. But that's his body shape, so that fits perfectly.
So when that's on him, it doesn't look like it's different. It looks like an even garment.
Yeah. And then we have our pockets, left and right. But, I'm going to do a fitting before I put all the details in, but they're all marked onto the pattern pieces.
Okay, yeah.
Because you've got your facings, your pocket bag, and then you've got the solid facings like you find in the jeans, and then you have the lower facing. So then there are two extra pieces to take off to make pattern pieces for that. So that will be cut in polycotton fabric, lining for the pocket, and the smaller bits will be cut in the fabric so that the lining doesn't show.
So like a pocket facing.
Yes. And then obviously tack up and put a waistband on. On some of our customers, because of the different shaping, is quite a bit wider on the hips, but then his waist goes in small. So it's not always easy to get the waist back, so it fits his waist without putting elastic in. He's not really keen on having elastics in the waist of his trousers. Because he's a young man, he just wants to look.
He doesn't want to wear elasticated waist, does he?
So if you look at the darts on the yokes, you have to put darts in. So one side has two darts in, that's the wider side, which is the left side.
Oh, yes.
And by putting darts in, it then creates the shape back into his waist. So then we put a small amount of elastic in, just so that when he sees it's got a little bit of give, and it feels comfortable. But it doesn't show the elastic in the waistband. It's just purely. You know,
So do you cut? Because when I've made jeans, I've got 2.5 dress size difference between my hip and my waist, and when I've done jeans, I've adjusted the pattern, and so my yoke is now very curved because essentially I made a test pair, I put a dart in it because it didn't fit, but then I didn't put a dart in the final version. I changed it into the pattern, so now the yoke's really curved. But you make this flat and dart it every time on him because that fits better for him.
We did try the curve, so I fold the darts out so that the waistband curves the waist, and he didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was the way it looked.
Yeah, he preferred it because then it's difficult to get a straight waistband on. When it curves in too much, you really do need to then face it back.
Right.
You can't put a continuous waistband round, and he didn't like it face back, which it did sit better, but it didn't look like a normal pair of trousers.
Right. So the style,
with the darts in, then you can have a continuous straight waistband.
Yeah.
A standard waistband on it, and you know he's wearing it and he needs to feel comfortable in it. So.
Well, the whole point of all this is to get something that's stylish and fits, isn't it? Not something that just does the job.
Yeah. And to make them feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah,
that as well. So so we'll tack that up, it'll come for a fitting, and if we need recutting, then we'll recut, then adjust the pattern to what the fitting is, and every pattern is dated as to what we've done on that. Then that's kept, but usually when they come back they do change again shape. Yeah. So with some customers we do have to fit quite frequently.
Why are people changing shape? Is it just in the normal way that everybody changes shape, or is it because conditions progress, or both, or?
Yeah, it's both. Yeah, more often than not it is because of the condition, their disability, and they do change shape, especially the ones with scoliosis.
Right, yeah.
Osteoporosis, scoliosis with the S-shaped spine, so they change more frequently.
Right.
I mean, they could lose height within 6 months, they could lose an inch.
Right.
You know.
So it isn't as simple as having one pattern and then you can knock out 10 pairs of trousers over 2 years or whatever. You've got to change it every time.
Yeah, and every pattern's kept, and then we do ask customers to let us know if they want a repeat garment, whether there's any adjustment on the pattern, and most often than not they need to be tweaked. I mean, some children, obviously with growth with children, they're tweaked in certain areas, and some children have operations, and because of limited movement, then they may have gained a little bit of weight, or they've lost weight because they've been poorly, so garments are adjusted that way. Yeah. But we do keep the older patterns and date them so we can go back, to those. But we have a CAD system, so we can store patterns in that as well.
Okay, so you've got a way of scanning them in, and
it's a CAD cam, so we can adjust the patterns in there as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll watch you cut it out if you don't mind, because I bet you're like super speed.
You can get Janice to cut as well, because sometimes we do cut together.
Oh yeah, we love each other. You want me to?
Or is that confusing?
No, that would look great.
Instead of cutting exactly onto your line, can you just slightly away from it?
Just cut it slightly away.
Yeah, so it's slightly bigger.
Just on the seams.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. This is spot on.
Are you ready?
Oh, you don't wait for me.
You coach, you'll just do a bit. Teamwork. Because it's a full length trousers. Yeah, so it's fine. I'm just going to move the yoke because I need to make sure the grey line matches up with them.
Just mark your pockets. Just do the top and the middle, bottom.
Yes.
Do you have special left-handed scissors for you? No. Just
Just use.
Oh, we've been used to it.
Yeah. She can use her right hand, so.
Are you no good with your right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, totally useless. Can't even hold a drink in it.
I bet you could at a push.
Right, I always switch it. If I get a drink, I switch it to my left. While I'm cutting, I'm just leaving a fraction. So I'm not cutting exactly on the edge of the pattern line. If I'm fitting it, all of that can be, the extra can be fitted out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to write on the back of this what this is.
What we do occasionally with some fabric is a special one with a bit of stretching. I do pre-wash them because obviously they're bespoke and they do shrink sometimes. Or if I've washed a sample of it, I know how much it's going to shrink. So then I'll allow that in the making up of the fabric.
So then you wouldn't necessarily pre-wash, but you would make it bigger?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Especially cotton jersey, the first one you film with a vest, the white, or cotton jersey will shrink lengthwise. And so what I tend to do is allow, and they will shrink sometimes as much as 5 centimetres after washing and drying, so we'll make them bigger. Sometimes the customers will say, well, they're a little bit too big, they don't fit, so just wash them, try them again, and let us know before we make the full, completely order.
Yeah.
Alright, cut this.
Yeah, they're all pinned and cut those.
How often do you go fabric shopping? Do you go? Mum says you go to the Shuttle a lot.
Yes, we do quite a lot from a local shop called the Shuttle Fabric Shop. We've been going there since we started really, so in over 30 years. But it's becoming more and more difficult. It's quite challenging now to find the right fabric. And even though if you look around, we do have a lot of fabric, and some of it is quite old, but we don't throw anything away because it's a bespoke service.
Yeah.
Guarantee we'll throw something away and somebody will want.
Yeah.
We'll want that. But we do have to buy some online now, which does cost a lot more.
Yeah.
We've just made a pair of jeans for a customer, the fabric she wanted. The only place you could buy it was the soft denim with a 2-way stretch, and that was online, and it was just £25, and it was just a metre and a half of fabric.
Yeah.
And that's just the fabric. So the full cost of the trousers was over £60 to make up.
That's still very cheap, I think, for your time.
Yes,
But
yes, but sometimes customers don't see that. Obviously, when you've got your cheap shops like a Primark, they expect maybe you can get close. So we do have to keep reminding them that it's a bespoke service.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the garments do last them a very long time because they are made extremely well. But
made very differently from a high street.
Yes. But haberdashery as well, sourcing that is a huge problem. For us as well, just trying to find that.
Right.
It's mostly online now.
Yes. And everything's just so much more expensive, including buttons is very difficult to find. And when you do find them, they are expensive.
Yeah.
To do. But it is important that they have the right fabric as well.
Yeah.
Because it needs to fit and move depending on the person's body shape.
Yep.
We do a lot of trousers, we make a lot of jeans. And for our customers that wheelchair users, if there's a stretch in the fabric, it is much better. So if it fits a little bit snug, there's movement because it does have the stretch. Yeah. But sometimes with denim, they can be quite heavy and quite thick. So what we do on the waistband is, you'll see the denim on the outside, but on the back of the waistband will be a cotton jersey fabric. So it's nice and soft.
Yeah, so it feels good when
and it's comfortable.
Yes. That's probably quite a good tip for anyone, to be honest.
Yeah. But it's important that we communicate well, with our customers, but not just customers, because some are not able to communicate themselves.
Yeah.
But the carers or the parents, and how they sit. And some will sit more to the left or to the right, any part of the body that's quite sensitive, that maybe need padding out or reinforced, because we do pad areas out as well, just to make it, comfortable, especially the ones in moulded chair. which are moulded to their body shape to support the body. There isn't much room in there for clothing, for garments, and that's where even with coats, that's very, very difficult to find coats.
So I hope you enjoyed watching that part of the video. That is the second part of 4, and we'll be back tomorrow with the third part. Now the third part is going to be looking at, got my list down there, it's going to be looking at industrial sewing machines. So I have an overlock to show you, I have a sewing machine but an industrial one to show you, setting press studs, lots of really interesting geeky sewing gadgety things, which certainly I found fascinating, and I hope that you will as well. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned tomorrow for the next part in this series.